This morning we have Angel Gabriel coming to us with the gift of foresight, blessing with the gift of foresight. And Gabriel, we've had a few times and possibly have had foresight before as well. And sometimes when a card comes out and I've already had it out, I quite often want to put it back in the bag and say, no, give me something else. Instead of trusting that today, this day, wasn't the last day that I got this card, it's this day. And for some reason, this is the energy and the focus I need for this day, for today. And it's very interesting that foresight comes up for me today because I'm in the process of writing a training manual for the tapping that I do, the 2 meridian tapping. And I struggle sometimes with wanting to quote the science and refer to the science that's there that proves tapping works so well, instead of trusting the experience I have that tells me that this tapping works so well and the knowledge that I have around it. And I think that's about the foresight, the trusting. It's the trusting my intuition, trusting the level of knowing that I have around this, and seeing the science as a secondary thing, and how much we can get caught up now in wanting scientific facts. And where's the data that proves this? Maybe the data is you. Maybe experience is what proves this. And maybe you need to trust your experience a little bit more. And if we grew up being told that we weren't good enough, and I used to struggle with this in school a lot as well. When I had a child who was struggling to do something and needed to move on and wanted to move on with the whole class, but this child was going to learn the most if they did this themselves. And it was how to allow that child the space he or she needed to continue to explore until they got there, or to help them. But by helping them, I wasn't teaching them that they could do it. I was teaching them that they needed help to do it. And sometimes we do need help. But most of the time, we have got the inner resilience. We have got the ability to do these things. We have got the power. But when we don't get the chance to actually experience that, it's one thing saying it to somebody, but when you get the chance to experience it, like for example, the birthing experience, the actual experience of being born, being physically born, coming through the birth canal is the closest thing, they say, to death that we'll ever go through before we come to our death. It's a near-death experience, being squeezed down through the birth canal. But it sets you up for the rest of your life because you survive it. It sets you up for the rest of your life. So in your cells, you now have imprinted that you can survive the hardest of things. Now, babies that are born through C-section and things like that, that's a different story. And what does that imprint in our cellular memory? That we needed help. And we do. We need both. We need both. But it's interesting and it's important to realize how our experiences set us up for the rest of our lives. What we hear, what we do, what we don't do, what other people tell us by their actions, how that sets us up for the rest of our life. And that's not to judge it. And that's not to say we're doomed. It's none of that. It's to say how it is. This is me in the fullness of my being. And I still am gift. And it's the foresight within that. It's to have the ability to sit back and look at my own life and say, look, trust myself. Here I am. I trust myself. I truly am gift. I'm gift from the divine, and I'm here on this earth right now in this body to live the best life that I can live, because if you don't, you're giving back the gift that you were given, which is life, unopened. And I don't know about you, but if I give a gift to somebody and they don't use it, it sits with you and you think, well, like, it meant something to me to give it to you in the first place and you don't use it. Well, it's the same thing with the divinity and with God. You're given the gift of life. and you don't take advantage of it, and you don't use it, and you don't live it in its fullness. And that's not about everything being nice and fluffy. It's about showing up for yourself every day in every way and truly loving the person that you are and accepting who you are. That doesn't mean you aren't going to change. You probably do want change a lot. But that's what the gift of every day gives us, the opportunity to make those choices and make those changes and get on with living the best life we can on this earth, right here, right now. So trust yourself, trust your inner knowing, trust your inner being. And then the challenge is to find the time to sit with yourself and sit and listen to that inner knowing and trust your truth when it comes. Because your truth will not affect other people. It will affect you positively. Okay? And if you're reacting to somebody, there's a truth in that somewhere. And if you're angry with somebody, there's a truth in that somewhere for you. Probably taps into a past unresolved hurt. And that's what I do. I help people resolve those past hurts and to retune them so they can move on and get on with living their best life. Think of it like little energy blips that just need to be retuned. Or you can think of it like a mountain that needs to be climbed, but that's a harder one. When you think of a mountain that needs to be climbed, it's going to be tough. You think of an energy blip that just needs retuned, it's just like tuning a guitar string. It's an awful lot easier to do. So trust yourself. Trust that you have foresight. Trust that you know, even before you think it, you absolutely do know it. It's about allowing yourself to nourish your soul energy so you can truly believe in the great gift that you are. Right here, right now. And then get on with living it as best you can. Namaste. Have a brilliant day.